It's been my pleasure today to welcome the Foreign Secretary, Dominic Raab, to Gibraltar. It's not often that a Foreign Secretary makes time to come to Gibraltar to meet with the government of Gibraltar and to instill confidence in the people of Gibraltar that the United Kingdom is working closely with the government of Gibraltar on all of the issues of the day. Of course, today in particular, we've been concentrating on our forthcoming negotiation for a treaty between the United Kingdom and the European Union on Gibraltar, as provided for in the New Year's Eve agreement that we've already entered into with Spain. But I wanted to use today to express the sincere gratitude of the people of Gibraltar for the support that we have had from the United Kingdom in this difficult pandemic period, not just in the supply of life-saving vaccines, but also in the support for a £500 million sovereign guarantee for Gibraltar, and the things that we might start to forget about in the context of the work that we've done with this Conservative government, also the access to the United Kingdom market in financial services, which is now provided for in UK law. So Dominic Raab is very, very welcome to Gibraltar. He has demonstrated, as has his government, that he is a very good friend of Gibraltar, and the Deputy Chief Minister and I have been delighted to see him in Gibraltar and show him a little of our geography.
Well, first of all, can I just say, Chief Minister Fabian, it's a great pleasure to be here for the first Joint Ministerial Committee in Gibraltar. A great honour for me personally, a great pleasure. And we had the opportunity, which I think was important today, to discuss how we turn the framework that we agreed over the Christmas period into a legally binding treaty with our EU partners. And I wanted to, it was important for me to come here to Gibraltar to see Fabian and to see the government of Gibraltar and to make the statement to the people of Gibraltar that we reaffirm on behalf of the UK our steadfast commitment to British sovereignty and to the stability and the prosperity of the people of Gibraltar as part of the UK family. I also wanted to just say that we've got an excellent working relationship. I think the government of Gibraltar have done exceptionally well throughout this crisis, and I think it helps that on a personal level we've got such a good dynamic, served so well by so ably by the officials and the various teams that support us, and I think that bodes very well for the weeks, months and ultimately years ahead to make sure that Gibraltar can realise its full potential.
Thank you. Shall I invite colleagues from the Gibraltar media who wish to ask a question?
Mr. Raab, Jonathan Sacramento from GBC News. I'd ask you, following the framework agreed on New Year's Eve and the forthcoming negotiations, what would you say is the main stumbling block for the negotiating parties, for the UK and Gibraltar, to finalise that agreement with the European Union? And if you are not able to meet the June target, will you be seeking an extension?
Well, thanks. So I think the first thing to say is, look, everyone knows that these negotiations can be difficult, but I think we dealt with a lot of the stumbling blocks, if you like, and surmounted them in the negotiations we had over the Christmas period. So the approach that we take with Fabian and his team is to faithfully replicate what's envisaged in the framework in a legally binding treaty, and to start thinking less about obstacles and more about the potential for win-win. And obviously we want to get this done in the time frame you described, but let's strive for the right result and be flexible to allow us to achieve it.
Okay, I'll go. Foreign Secretary Brian Reyes from the Gibraltar Chronicle. We've seen in recent weeks quite a lot of friction on a number of issues between the UK and the EU, thinking about issues such as Northern Ireland, supply of vaccines and so on. What is the risk that that could spill over into the negotiations that you've yet to embark on for this treaty, and how will you avoid that? And also, if I may just take this opportunity as well on a separate issue, we saw reports last week about the Home Office's plans for asylum, and there were reports suggesting that the UK was considering Gibraltar as a possible location for processing asylum seekers outside the UK. We know that the Home Secretary has written to the Chief Minister, but we've not seen that letter, and there's been no public statement from the UK government ruling out Gibraltar as a location for processing asylum seekers. Will you do that now?
Yes, I can rule that out categorically. It was never something that was being seriously or significantly considered at all. And in relation to your first point, in relation to the wider issues, look, I think we've got a good track here, and I think the advantage of having had the negotiation over the December period is that we built up some goodwill on all sides. So we're absolutely committed to resolving all of our tensions with the EU in a pragmatic, sensible way. Obviously, it always takes goodwill on all sides, but actually I'm reasonably confident, given the process that we've already been through, that actually we've got a good track, and again, with hard work and goodwill on all sides, I think we can turn this framework into a legally binding treaty. I think that's good news all round.
I don't think this question is out of place, but I think that I might repeat that, you know, how grateful the people of Gibraltar are for the sort of support we've been getting from Britain, from people like yourselves and from people like the Prime Minister. However, those of us who've been around for a while realize that visits of this nature can be followed by bad news. So what kind of news can one expect after you leave Gibraltar?
I first of all, thank you for the warm words. And it's a sign, I think, the support that we've been able to provide, also the excellent way that, for example, COVID has been managed by the Chief Minister and his team. I think we've got a very good, strong working relationship. As I said, Gibraltar is part of the UK family. That is something that is a constant for us and is steadfast. And I think I can reliably say that there'll be no bad news when I leave today. And I appreciate sceptical minds in the media may ask that question. But actually, I think it's a sign of the strength of the relationship that I wanted to come, and also the dynamic that Fabian and I have been able to build up. So there's no lurking bad news for you at all. Sorry to disappoint.
Thank you. And finally, if I may say so, Gibraltar's faced many challenges in the past 5 years since the result of the Brexit referendum came in on the 24th of June 2016, and an almost insurmountable challenge we might have all thought last year with the issues that were facing us with COVID. Despite that, we have worked with the United Kingdom in close partnership. We are able to see a way through all of those challenges. And I think the message that I have wanted to give to the Foreign Secretary is that the people of Gibraltar have realised now more than ever how lucky we are to be British. Thank you very much indeed, and thank you all for coming this afternoon.